In our busy world, we often view our emotions as roadblocks, problems that require fixing, or annoying distractions that we wish we could just simply turn off. Yet each year we watch mental health struggles like anxiety and depression increase in high volume. So is our strategy of attempting to fix or avoid our emotions really helping? Or could it be hurting? Think of your internal world as a 10-story building. Within your internal 10-story building is a series of floors, 3 of which are the most important. The second level is the emotional floor. When you get off on the elevator at the second floor, you enter a quiet, peaceful, and safe place to take a load off. On the second floor, we don't do a whole lot of figuring things out. That's the 10th floor. Instead, we just notice feelings that come up. And when we notice them, we simply process them without analysis or judgment. If we take the elevator up 3 floors, we end up on the 5th floor, our spiritual floor. Everyone's spiritual floor looks different, but this is the place we go when we want to make sense of things with the bigger picture in mind. This floor can be a tremendous resource to many, although sadly for most of us, it's a pretty underdeveloped floor. When it comes to processing emotions, most of us don't spend much time on either of these floors, even though that's where we're meant to first sit with our emotions. Instead, we practically live on the 10th floor, the intellectual floor. The 10th floor is the place we go to figure things out. When we walk into this room, we see a familiar, sterile room full of whiteboards and files. The 10th floor is the place where we go for analysis and critical thinking. But while the 10th floor might be the right place to go for creating a budget or for finding the best alternative route to cutting through a traffic jam, it's often the floor that gets us in the most trouble when it comes to feeling or processing our emotions. You see, emotions were never meant to be processed entirely on the 10th floor. Feelings don't make sense, so they don't belong on the floor that runs everything through a filter of logic and analysis. When we take emotions like anxiety, sadness, loneliness, or rejection to the 10th floor for processing, the 10th floor ends up trying to fix and figure out these emotions by asking questions that only manage to turn up the feelings rather than comfort them. So what happens if we first feel instead of taking the elevator up to the top floor, and we take a pit stop at the second floor? On the second floor, there's no questions or analysis. There's only nurturing in the form of acceptance and acknowledgement. When we let the second floor guide us in processing our feelings, they manage to slowly turn down a notch rather than amplifying. If we make the second floor the place we first go with our emotions, we don't even have to visit for too long to feel the calming effects. After a short pit stop of deep breaths and acknowledgement, we're then ready to get back to life, feeling lighter and calmer and at peace with our feelings. At this point, we can even send those feelings back up the elevator for pit stops on the 5th and 10th floor to finish out our processing. Because while understanding our emotions is important, it will never be an effective endeavor unless we first take the time necessary to first accept and feel our feelings. So the next time you feel, don't run from it. Don't send it up to the 10th floor for processing. Instead, take a moment to spend time on the second floor with it. Do it and watch everything change.